In January 1893, the Hawaiian monarchy was overthrown by a group of foreign businessmen in conspiracy with treacherous cabinet ministers of the Queen. 1898 saw annexation of Hawaii to the United States. Princess Kaiulani was the sole heir to the fallen throne. Uncertain of her future, she became very ill after a reckless horse ride in the rain. This is her story, told from her own letters and the thoughts and memories of those closest to her. Keeping a long vigil at Kaiulani's bedside were her father, Archibald Cleghorn, her half-sisters, Helen and Rose, her cousin by marriage, Prince David Kavananakoa, the man she might have married to perpetuate the royal line. Two close friends, Kate Vida and Eva Parker, the family physician, Dr. Minor, and myself. She called me Lehua. As Kaiulani's kahu, or guardian, I was given charge of a special child, the daughter of Princess Likelike, the king's younger sister. King Kalakaua had no children himself. He was so overjoyed on the day of Kaiulani's birth that he ordered all the bells of the city to ring out in welcome. A morning star shone brightly, then was covered by rain clouds. The highest in the heavens is what Kaiulani's name means. I was chosen for the special privilege of caring for the highest in the heavens. At Kaiulani's beautiful home, Ainahau, where she raised her pet peacocks, she had a happy childhood, saddened only by the death of her mother when Kaiulani was 11. The author Robert Louis Stevenson, an Edinburgh Scot like her father, was enchanted by the young princess when he visited the islands. Just before Kaiulani left for school in England, Stevenson wrote in her autograph book,
"When she comes to my land, and the rain beats upon the window, let her look at this page. It will be like a weed gathered at home, and she will remember her own islands, and she will hear the peacocks screaming in the dusk, and the wind blowing in the ponds, and she will think of her father, sitting there alone."
King Kalakaua died in January 1891, and his sister Liliuokalani ascended the throne. Her niece, 15-year-old Princess Kaiulani, was named heir apparent. Kaiulani was sent to school in England. Her absence, which she termed her exile, stretched into 8 long years. Her half-sister Helen remembered,
"Kaiulani, your life was always so different from ours. You were the heir to the Hawaiian throne, and when you were sent away to England to be groomed for your duties as our future queen, our dear sister Annie was with you. She knew how hard things could be for you. Kaiulani wrote that one of her young men had gone to see her. She was supposed to be polishing him off, but couldn't make up her mind to do so just yet. She said she must have a little more fun that winter as her fling was limited. For political reasons, there was a possibility of her being married in April to a man she didn't care much for either way. Rather a gloomy outlook, but noblesse oblige, she said.
When she was homesick, Kaiulani often thanked God for Annie, who gave her strength during those dark days in England. At the time that Archibald Cleghorn married Princess Likelike, he already had 3 daughters, Helen, Rose, and Annie. Closest of these 3 to their royal half-sister was Annie, the only one who followed Kaiulani to England. The news from home became increasingly bad, and Annie saw her through it.
Annie was with you on that awful day when your guardian, Mr. Davies, didn't have the heart to show you the telegrams he received from Hawaii. Annie told you what they said. The awful news. Queen deposed. Monarchy abrogated.
So-called friends couldn't be trusted.
We all knew you never really recovered from that shock. Annie was with you when you saw your birthright swept away by others.
I believe you would have been a great queen, Kaiulani, always ready to stand by Hawaii. What courage you showed in going to Washington to plead with President Cleveland. You were only 18. Your speech moved everyone when you said,
I hear that the annexation commissioners have been at the American Capitol, asking that my little vineyard be taken away, leaving me without a home, a name, or a nation.
Across the ocean, your voice seemed to reach your people, giving them hope. The news reaching you from here was always so painful.
On January 3rd, 1895, fighting erupted on the slopes of Diamond Head when loyal Hawaiian royalists clashed with provisional government soldiers. Outnumbered, the Hawaiians were beaten and thrown into jail. The Queen herself was arrested. Liliuokalani was always a threat, as long as she was free. For 8 months she was a prisoner in her own palace. A document of abdication was brought for her to sign. She believed that by her pen the stream of blood could be stopped.
There were so many plots to offer you the throne. They tried to make you betray your aunt, and that did upset you. I remember your very words, Kaiulani.
I have never discussed politics with anyone. I know nothing of these schemes involving me, and I would never do anything to offend my aunt. Doesn't she know that?
Kaiulani was kept away from Hawaii for political reasons. At one point during her long absence, she decided to live her life to the full. She had many love affairs and strong friendships. She was particularly fond of Baron de Courcy's son, nicknamed Toby. They wrote warm, confiding letters to each other. He always seemed to know her thoughts and was so kind when she was suffering from too much worry.
I wonder if Kaiulani ever misses our cold English nights. I can almost hear her at times.
My dear Toby, Papa was in town and he consulted the doctor about my health, which has not been good. They said I was to sleep a great deal, etc. Still, it did not prevent my going to that dance to meet with you. We always had so much to talk about.
She's here.
Toby!
May I introduce the French ambassador's wife?
You seemed happy, and yet there was always some dreadful news affecting you. were so beautiful and lively, and yet inside we knew there was a part of you we could never have. You were truly Kaiulani of Hawaii. Hope she's well. Bloody cold night.
With annexation imminent, you decided to come home, to do what you could for your people. Dear, loyal Annie came back to Hawaii only to die before your own return. How we missed her when we celebrated your homecoming, right here at one of your favorite places. You sat next to your betrothed, but I could see your mind was elsewhere. Lehua was there always looking out for you. How happy your people were to see you back in Hawaii. You were so greatly loved by them.
Victoria, Lunalelo, Kalani Nui, Ahi Alapalapa, Kaiulani.
After the new government took over, they tried to take everything away from you, even your dignity. Your sacred name meant nothing to them. I remember that time just after annexation.
Can I help you?
We want to meet the ex-princess. This is where she lives, isn't it?
Could we have a photo of her to take back home?
The princess is not available.
Just tell her we're here.
You cannot come in here. This is a private home.
Have they gone yet?
They're gone. I remember Kaiulani's words. Oh, will they never leave us alone? They have now taken everything away from us, and it seems there is left but little, and that little, our very life itself.
I'll be back.
If we had married, I sometimes wonder how different things would have been. When you went to Washington, I must admit I felt you were influenced by others and working against the Queen's interests. But I can see now, we were just doing the best we could at the time, and our lives have been so altered by the loss of the throne.
Even though Prince David Kavananakoa was Kaiulani's cousin by marriage, an engagement had been proposed between them to ensure continuity of the ali'i, the dwindling royal line. But they were more like brother and sister, and in the end, their engagement came to nothing. After annexation, Kaiulani looked for any excuse to get out of Honolulu, as conditions were unbearable under the new regime. She often rode off alone, just to get away from it all.
ke ali o pio, e kōkō mai, na ua haa o. Beware, young Ali. Rain clouds gather overhead.
Kaiulani often felt she belonged to two worlds. But in that instant, she knew which one had the power to claim her whenever it wanted. Soon after, she went riding again in a rainstorm. Her friends warned her she'd catch her death of cold. But she called out, "What does it matter? What have I got to live for?" Just after 2 a.m., Kaiulani's father saw a vision of her, saluting her loved ones in passing.
Kaiulani's peacocks began a wild screaming in the night. People for miles around said they knew the exact time she left us.
No ka pu'uhei o ka ainala I o mai ne. E he o la mauna kau a kau na va'apau. Aloha e. Aloha e. Aloha te ali'i Kaiulani.
On March 6, 1899, Princess Kaiulani died at the age of 23. She lay in state at Ainahau, surrounded by dozens of orchids and white-orange blossoms. Queen Liliuokalani was away in Washington at the time of Kaiulani's death. An empty carriage represented her in the funeral procession. Kaiulani was laid to rest beside her mother in the Royal Mausoleum in Honolulu.
Good morning, sir.
My dear Toby, I must have been born under an unlucky star, as I seem to have my life planned out for me in such a way that I cannot alter it.
I know now that the overthrow of the monarchy was also a spiritual overthrow for our people. What Kaiulani lost, we all lost. Hawaii changed forever.